Hitting hard balls, zoals ik al zei. Tuff Crew. Oh, hey, had je eventjes je microfoon... Oké, goed. Ja. Alles daar gelaten. Degene die ons het meeste kan gaan vertellen over de Tuff Crew, dat is natuurlijk de DJ zelf. If everything is all right, we have a connection to Philadelphia and we're speaking to DJ Too Tuff, a.k.a. The Deuce Ace Detonator. Wow.
Good afternoon, or should I say good evening?
Yeah, it's good evening over here. We don't know what the time is at Philly at the moment.
It's 1:30 in the afternoon, and I'm on my way to a recording session at Smoked Out Sound Studios, which is like in the middle of a drug-infested area, as I push a pink toy car that's carrying my turntables and my mixer down the street.
Okay, so you're carrying, let's say, expensive equipment through a few blocks that have known to, have something to do with drugs.
Yeah, I'm literally in the middle of the area that we call the danger zone, otherwise known as Northside.
Wow.
But, I get all love down here, so it's not a problem.
Well, it sounds pretty dodgy, so, please take care of yourself and of your equipment, of course. DJ Too Tuff, you've been there from, the first hour when it comes to the hip-hop base in Philadelphia. What was the area like? What was the time like in Philadelphia when it all started?
Well, when I first started, the whole hip-hop industry as a whole had about 30 rap groups total. When I first started learning how to scratch, I learned from listening to mixtapes from DJ Jazzy Jeff, mixtapes from Cash Money, Lightning Rich. Now, when I say mixtapes, I'm talking about an actual cassette tape. But there may only be 45 minutes or 3 minutes worth of actual scratching on there because the tape used to pop and we used to have to fix them with scotch tape and stuff like that. But I was lucky enough to be able to be so passionate and so amazed with the art of scratching that I learned really quick. So I began scratching in 1984, and I pretty much was able to get good enough to do the world famous So Damn Tough scratch by 1988. So that was 4 years of constant practice while I was going to school at St. Joe's Prep, which is like a high-end prep school that I graduated from, which used to be in a bad neighborhood, but it was all rich kids in the school. So I had to travel through another bad area like I'm traveling through today to go to school.
Yeah? Are you still there? Oké, het lijkt erop dat de verbinding even verbroken is. Hij had me al een beetje op de hoogte gebracht van het feit dat zijn telefoon niet helemaal meer vol zat. Hij had het over iets minder dan 50%. Dus daar moet sowieso nog iets van over zijn. Zullen we anders eerst even de Sleaze and Dirt doen? Hallo's Rough, Tuff Crew. We're very happy to announce that nothing bad happened to DJ Too Tuff while he was walking with equipment through Northside, the danger zone. And if it's all correct, we've got him reestablished and we got him on air now.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to be back. Something went wrong with the telephone, so we're just gonna start off where we left off in the phase before this. You were telling that you actually had cassettes with scratches on them. That's how you learned how to do it yourself through to sheer determination. But after making the famous scratches in 1988. How did that pick up your career, and how did the Tuff Crew get together?
Well, Tuff Crew got together because Ice Dog's girlfriend used to live right across the street from my house where I lived from the time that I was born until I turned 28 years old. So I quite frequently watched a group called SCR, which was the Street City Rockers, practice their breakdance move in a little park called Hart Park between 4th and Master and 4th and Thompson, which was less than half a block where I lived at. I used to put my PVS speakers out the 3rd floor window and practice my scratching every day after school. And my dad used to come home from work and holler at me because there would be like 30 people standing outside the house listening to what I had been scratching for the past 45 minutes. I was unaware that they were even out there.
Wow.
So, as I was telling you earlier, I kind of was pretty passionate for the 4 years that led up to when I first started scratching to the point where I became DJ for Tuff Crew and did the So Damn Tough Scratch. I was just as passionate about becoming DJ for Tuff Crew as I was about actually learning how to scratch. So I approached Ice Dog, who introduced me to his manager, and I actually happened to be there when Tony Mitchell, who ended up being the owner and CEO and our manager of So Def Records and So Def Management, pulled up in the limousine and introduced us to LA Kid and Ice Dog. LA Kid and Tone Love. See, me and Ice Dog grew up in the same neighborhood. Tone Love was from a different area, and LA Kid was obviously from Los Angeles, hence the name LA Kid.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was just kind of a chemistry that developed over a short period of time that was amazing to us. And when we ended up, you know, the first album we did a split album with the Crown Rulers that was produced by Ultramagnetic MCs. It was called Fan Jam. At that point, the direction that they were taking Tuff Crew in was to be like the new edition of hip-hop, sort of like a commercialized group. And when we did the tracks for the Crown Rulers, who I discovered at a party in Camden, New Jersey, their stuff was so hard that we got kind of embarrassed because they basically housed us on our own album. So when we were given the freedom to do our own music and create our own sound on the Danger Zone album, we kind of had a chip on our shoulder. And we ended up unexpectedly making a Philadelphia and worldwide anthem entitled My Part of Town, which has now carried me over a period of 35 years into parts of the world and to meet people who I never even really imagined that I would meet because of that song. So I'm very grateful and very humbled. And again, I'm very happy to be on the show with you guys today, man.
Yeah, because that is, you know, what started it all off. That's, I think, one of the classics in hip-hop music, My Part of Town.
Yeah, I agree. So the scratches for My Part of Town I actually did on top of a baby grand piano while I was standing on a milk crate. I used a Scratch Master mixer to do it, and obviously I used a Technique 1200. We recorded it at Ambler Recording Studios. Actually, it was Morning Star in Ambler, Pennsylvania, and it was sort of a secluded studio away from the inner city, away from any city actually, and we really got to concentrate on creating. You know, we already had the pre-production done, but what we got to concentrate on in the studio in Ambler was actually working with professional engineers for the first time. I mean, prior to that, we had done Fan Jam at Studio 4 with Joe Nicolo, where Rough House would eventually be based. But the experience that we got working personally with professional engineers gave us a sense of experience that we were able to use later on to produce actually Back to Rec Shop album, which we kind of modeled after It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, what song did you just play? Get the Hollow?
Yeah, the last song that we played was Hollow's Rough.
All right, cool. Yeah, Hollow's Rough is one of the 9 tracks that we already have completed. I would say 75% completed for the new Tuff Crew album entitled Raiders of the Lost Art with a T. Now, I had plans for that album to be released last Christmas, but it got shelved for a couple different reasons that I won't mention. But we have continued our quest to release one last Tuff Crew album to give it as a gift to the people who have supported us for over the last 25 years, and especially the European markets, and especially Amsterdam and the Netherlands, who have been so supportive of us. You know what was amazing to me was when in the United States we heard the song Must Be the Music by King B on the Royal Jelly album.
Yeah.
You know, because we were like, whoa, we didn't really know how to react to that because in our minds we hadn't actually made it yet, nor did we even know that My Part of Town had spread to Europe and the Netherlands, Denmark, Spain, Japan. So it was really a kind of a musical culture shock for us. And again, it made us feel really good. So even though Ice Dog made a response to King B entitled Shooting Deuces, we were, you know, in no way like at odds because I believe that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So shout out to my boy Guan Elm Zoon and to All Star Fresh and King B over there in the Netherlands. Shout out to my man Remco Kaiser and Martin Marsoki and all of my peoples over there, Arjan Bowes. I know probably at least 13 or 14 different people. My man Jerome Koch over in the Netherlands. So when I finally do get over there with the promoter Omar Lucechi, I look forward to meeting all of you guys in person once and for all, man.
Yeah, that would be very, very, very splendid. And you brought a subject up that I need to discuss. There is a new album coming out. What can you tell us about this album of the Tuff Crew?
I can tell you that it includes all 4 original members of Tuff Crew, Tone Love, LA Kid, Ice Dog, and myself, Too Tuff. I can tell you that it's been quite difficult to work on the album due to sample clearance, and we have always been famous for sampling, so we continue to sample. I can tell you that the sound that you will hear on the new Tuff Crew album is going to be very, very similar, if not exactly the same as the sounds and style of beats as well as rhymes as well as scratches as the Tuff Crew fan base is used to hearing on both Danger Zone and Rec Shop.
Nice.
So we try to stick to as close as we can to the format that we originally used to make the hits that are now world famous. A simple beat that's probably recognizable with a heavy 808 boom. 3 MCs, each with 1 verse rhyming over that beat, and probably some type of standout scratch on the break, which is indicative of murder and the wax that I try to do on every song. Because you see, the only time I normally get to speak on a record is if I speak with my hands on the 8-bar break. So I try to make those 8 bars count for as much as I can make them count while the record button is red.
Exactly. When is this album coming out? Because I cannot wait to get my hands on it.
I don't have a release date for you. I would love to tell you that it'll be released in the 4th quarter before Christmas because the sales will go through the roof. Yeah. However, I would say I don't have an exact date for you, but if you go to my SoundCloud page, which is SoundCloud/DJ TOOTUFF, you can hear some of the stuff that may possibly be on the album. And there's also an official Tuff Crew page that's on SoundCloud as well. So if you want a little taste of the new Tuff Crew Raiders of the Lost Art album, you can go to either one of those pages and listen to some new Tuff Crew music.
Wow, yeah, we are sure to check that out. But please inform us if there's anything new to mention about this album coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I'll keep you guys in tune. Listen, I also have a Mixcloud page. It's mixcloud.com/again DJ TOOTUFF, and I have a Raiders of the Lost Ark sampler mix, which runs for 30 minutes and gives you the best songs of the Raiders of the Lost Ark album that have yet to be released. So obviously there's only going to be 3 or 4 on there, and it's only going to be a portion of each of those 3 or 4 songs. On the final album, we'll probably release between 19 and 21 songs on the album.
Wow.
And because somebody's beeping in on the other line again.
Oh, yeah.
Because we, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. You can ask me a different question now if you want.
Okay. What I really wanted to ask you, and this is certainly something that I believe belongs to Philadelphia, is the strong base of turntable lists that have originated from Philadelphia. Do you have any idea why great DJs like DJ Jazzy Jeff, Cash Money, and yourself are all based in Philadelphia? Was that the main thing in the Philadelphia hip-hop scene, to be a turntablist?
Well, I've been told that the reason that Philadelphia has the greatest DJs in history is because there's something special in the water. No, I'm just joking with you.
Yeah, could you export that water, please?
I actually have a new product called CBD water, which is by Quantum, and I'll send you guys over half a case of that water. It's,
Good.
It's CBD water derived from the marijuana/hemp plant, which we may or may not have been slipped a dose of that early in our careers to be able to give us the scratch techniques that we developed over a period of time.
Yeah, but was that a big thing in Philadelphia to be a turntablist? Was that, you know, something that was held in higher esteem than, for example, an MC?
I believe that Philly started the trend where the DJ led the way, more so than the MC. The DJ was the star of the show for about 15 years, between like 1982 up to like I don't know. I don't have a period of time, but I know from in the early 80s, during the development of hip-hop, during the golden era, the DJ was normally the star of the show, especially in Philly. And we would have an MC who would kind of be our hype man and back us up.
Yeah.
Not only was the DJ the main feature because we played the songs that kept the people dancing at the parties, but also because we would go out on our own and perform a little scratch show, which turned into, you know, different DJs battling each other. So it became like a pretty hyped up event when Jazzy Jeff would get into a little conflict with Master Vic, or Cosmic Kev would appear with DJ Cash Money at the Wynn Ballroom, or you know, like at this point, I was looking up to these dudes like they were scratch gods, and you know, in all reality, they were scratch gods. I was just able to recognize that they were scratch gods really early in my career, and be able to emulate them to the point where I could actually rub elbows with them. And at this point, I've become good friends with almost every DJ and MC in Philly, but especially the DJs, because being my contemporaries and being the peers from my time period where we all developed the skills and all released records on major labels, you know, they've been with me along the journey during, you know, major shows and minor shows. And if I ever need any of those guys for anything, like a kidney transplant or a brain transplant,
yeah,
or something like that. I'm sure that
something else, you know, minor stuff.
I'm sure that Jazzy Jeff will be willing to donate one of his kidneys to me.
Wow.
Probably not, but anyway. Shout out to Jazzy Jeff. Shout out to my boy Cash Money, Fat Money, and you know, all the rest of the DJs. You know, there was a DJ that was unheralded. It never got his due respect. His name was DJ Lightning Rich, and he hailed from North Philly. He was probably the inventor of the Transformer scratch. He was probably one of the first DJs to actually invent scratches that all the other DJs copied, but he never really got credit for it. Sad to say, DJ Lightning Rich passed away about 2 years ago. I was able to attend his funeral with my boy Cookie Walker. And I actually got to touch DJ Lightning Rich's hands in the coffin before they put him into the ground, and I prayed to God that he would transfer some of the unused and undeveloped power from his hands into my hands. So, you know, I try to keep my contemporaries who are no longer around and no longer with us. I try to keep their name in the public view, and maybe they can acquire the reputation and the information to the world that they never were able to receive in Philly.
Nice. The Juice Ace Detonator, a.k.a. DJ Too Tuff. Thank you very much for having this conversation with us. Unfortunately, we didn't spend as much time on the phone as we would like because of the technical difficulties along the way. But maybe, you know, we can have another conversation right before the release of the new Tuff Crew album.
Yeah, or sooner.
Or sooner, you know. You never know. You never know. Just drop us a line, and we'll just pick up where we left off.
Not a problem at all, my friend. I really appreciate the exposure I appreciate the promotion, and I appreciate the support and respect that I've received from the Netherlands and Amsterdam, especially for over maybe the last 6 or 7 years. Only in my knowledge, it's been 6 or 7 years, but I know you guys have been following Tuff Crew forever.
Yep.
So from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to thank you for bringing me on the air today and just say, rock on, my brothers. We love you.
Thank you. And, of course, peace and love right back at you. Well, keep doing what you're doing, and we'll be sure to meet again.
Yes, sir. Listen, if I don't send a shout-out to Schoolie D, and he's listening right now, he might whip my ass. So shout-out to my man Schoolie D, the original gangster rapper, who's hopefully listening right now. And check it out. We do have the new PSK vans for sale. So if y'all go to my Facebook page, www.facebook.com/DJ Too Tuff, you can check out the new Schoolie D PSK Gucci Time-inspired vans.
Cool.
Limited edition. Look, thank you so much, man. You guys have a good day, and God bless.